Alright, multiple joint movements on multiple planes. So we'll start off with the shoulder glenohumeral joint. There's extension, which goes all the way up through the sagittal plane, back in line to the frontal plane. There's extension on the sagittal plane, on the coronal or frontal plane, abduction away from the center line, and then adduction into the center line. And then there is external rotation, internal rotation on the transverse plane, and then the whole arm itself can go a lateral rotation on the transverse plane. That's actually a lateral adduction and a lateral abduction. Scapula, shoulder girdle, it can lift and depress. Both of those are on the coronal or frontal plane. The sagittal plane, you can abduct the scapula and adduct the scapula. Also, through many planes of movement, you can lift the scapula up. The roof is right there. And then you can roll the scapula down. I did that through the coronal or frontal plane. Next we'll move on to the hip joint. I'm just going to shift the camera down. So we have flexion through the sagittal plane. And then we're going to go extension through the hip joint there. So I'm just extending the hip backwards. And then we're going to have external abduction or rotation, transverse plane, internal adduction or adduction. Actually, I'll just do abduction there, adduction. And then the knee, I'm going to go flexion, extension. I'm just going to shift this down a little bit. Knee rotating the leg externally, internally, the transverse plane. Next we'll do the lumbar spine. So we'll go, that would be flexion. This way is extension. The sagittal plane, the coronal plane, it's a lateral flexion to each side. And then on the transverse plane, rotation